On today's episode, we are going to be talking about the alpha male. Men want to be them, and women want to be with them. At least that's what the old epithet says. So, buckle up. We're going to talk about this on the other side of the intro. See you inside. Yo, Spades Gang. Welcome to a brand new episode of the BK Spades Show. I am your host, the BK Spades, and I am here with my very lovely co-host,
Novacaine, baby.
Yeah, Spades Gang, it's good to have you back with us today. And I know you've seen the intro already. We're going to be talking about alpha males, beta males, and all the other males and females, I guess. But before we get into all of that, I need you to do me a huge favor and go over to www.thebkspadeshow.com. That's BK Spades with a Z and the S on show, just in case anybody is confused. There's only one Z up in there. It's the Zorro Z. Go over there to that website so you get your merch. You can get blogs. You can get the show, audio and video. And also do me another favor and head over to Apple Podcasts where you can listen to the show, rate, and subscribe us. And Novacaine, tell them why they need to go over there to Apple Podcasts.
Go over I'm about to mess this whole thing up. God dang. Go over to Apple Podcasts and leave a rating and a review because we are in a competition to reach the top 250. I know we can make it. We just need your help. So everyone just go over there, rate us, and we keep moving up week by week. We be there in no time. We just need your help.
Yeah, y'all heard the lady. Get y'all biscuit head selves over there to Apple Podcasts.
Snap.
Oh yeah, I said it again. This is like what I meant to say it last week, but I was being respectful. But I'm disrespectful this week. I'm disrespectful. You cannot just. But make sure y'all head over to that website. Make sure you head over to Apple, and if you want to listen on YouTube, there's also that option, and Spotify and just about any other major podcast platform that's out right now. It's like 1 million of them. There's more popping up, and we're gonna make sure that we get to all of them at some point. But we can't do that unless you boost us, help us boost ourselves together as one, as a team, to get us to the top of these things, so we can get to more platforms and get to the holy grail of greatness that we need you to boost us to. Anyway.
Yes.
So, Novacaine.
Yeah.
Before we get into this topic, man, have you been watching anything? You been checking any new shows out, or any older shows that you're still watching? Anything good?
I always end up going back and watching Insecure. So I just caught up on that again.
How many times have you watched your series?
I've watched Insecure at least. I've seen that first season at least 6 times for sure.
6 times?
Yeah.
Man,
yeah, it's easy to watch because the episodes are only 30 minutes long.
Yeah.
So, and there's only 10 episodes per season. So that first season was really easy. I've been watching it since the first season. So, hold on, wait. No, I haven't. I've been watching it since the second season. So I've seen the first and the second season at least 6 times.
Wow. That's like most people go back and play Demon Souls every time. I don't know. Okay, so Demon Souls is a game. I think it started on PlayStation 3. It's one of those really difficult games, and ever since it came out, every game that seems to be a little difficult has been dubbed the Demon Souls or whatever game. So if you bought Madden and the Madden story mode was really difficult, they will call it the Demon Souls of sports games. That's how impactful that game is. And people, it's brutal. I tried it. It wasn't for me. My gaming skills ain't on that level, but man, people go back and play that shit all the damn time. I'm like, yo, and they just keep porting it over to new systems. PlayStation 4 come out, Demon Souls got a new version, and it's the same game.
I
I
don't
don't
know
get
what
it.
Demon Souls is.
You ain't got to know what it is to know that you need to stay away from it unless
I'm
you
gonna
just.
stay away from it. I'm gonna stay away from it, as well as I did start restart The Boys from season 1.
I cannot
So,
get. I like The Boys. I don't think I can watch it again though.
well, I'm just trying to be fresh. So when this third season come on, you
No,
can't
I
watch it again.
understand.
Is it because it's so freaking creepy?
No, it, it's just not for me. I like it. I enjoy it. I like superhero shit. You know that. But
Yeah,
I just get tired of watching
but
the same thing over and over and over again. Well,
is
you
it the
know,
same thing?
well when I say the same thing, it's like it's just extreme violence for the most part. I'm not shocked by it anymore. So I would like a tighter story because their focus, don't get me wrong, the story is good, but their focus is on the gore of things and not the stories. It feels like shock value for shock value's sake now with
Did
The
you watch the
Boys.
second season?
Yes. I enjoyed the show. I like it. It's
Can't
just not a
rewatch
go
it.
back and watch for me. Now, I like Invincible. I mean, that's a good one. They have a lot of gore on that show, but the story was so different. It was different from what we were getting everywhere else.
Yeah,
Plus violence.
yeah,
And also J.K. Simmons. Like you can't go wrong with J.K. Simmons.
yeah.
It's like It's like greatness. It's almost like Morgan Freeman. You put Morgan Freeman in anything, and you like, I'm gonna watch it though. You know, at least once.
True. You right. You right. I support that. And I also watched this new series where I started it, but I'm so freaking hung up over this second episode of
What?
Monsters at Work.
That's my stuff right there. That's my jam. I love that show, man. I didn't think I was gonna like the main character, but I absolutely do.
Yeah, he's hilarious. Well, so far he's hilarious.
Yeah,
The whole show is actually hilarious. I gotta watch the rest of this series
very
because
very fresh series.
yeah. So for Space Game that's not hip, Monsters
Get
at
hip
Work
though.
is Monsters Inc. series. They have a little series on Disney Plus. So that's not a children's cartoon.
It is. It's a kids show, but
It's a
it's
kids
for us
show,
though. It's
but it's
for
for
us
us
though.
though.
It's definitely
They
for
wrote it
us.
for us. They wrote it for all of us that love, Monsters Inc. when we were children.
Yeah.
And then they were like, we want to appeal to the adults as well. That's the
Speaking
one.
speaking
Don't
of,
get mad when you guys see these jokes because the kids don't understand what it is, but we understand.
oh yeah, like the net joke where they was twisting the net because dude works in maintenance, and
Yeah.
you know what I'm saying.
Yeah.
I mean, if you don't know what Monsters Inc. is by now, something's wrong. But monsters they scare kids, but then now they make kids laugh. But they got a maintenance place because it's a factory, so of course you need maintenance workers in that factory, and that's basically the job for them. All right. So speaking of Monsters Inc., in that factory, in that working system, they have a bit of a hierarchy. And if you know the character Sully is an alpha male. And I'm glad you brought that show up because that's going to segue us into our topic of today. Today, we are talking about alpha males, their hierarchy system, where it goes from alpha to beta and so on and so on. We're going to talk about where it came from and all that good shit. So,
That's fine.
Novacaine, you got a couple of lists. We're gonna talk about the alpha, the beta, and all that good stuff, and we're gonna try to give our opinion as we go, and then later on we're gonna do facts. So right now, just give us the list, and we're gonna talk about each one as you go. All right, go ahead, Nova. You got it.
Okay. So we start with the alpha.
All right.
It's the alpha.
You got to start at point one, right?
The alpha is confident in himself and his abilities. He is at the highest position in his social sphere. The alpha does not care what anyone thinks of him because he doesn't fear replacement. This tier is home to captains of industry and social butterflies. On this next list, it says that the alpha is dominating and charismatic. The born leader. He understands his priorities and always utilizes his time.
Wow. Okay. So what do you feel when you hear that? Like, is does that feel like a realistic goal? Is that do you know people that maybe don't have every one of those characteristics that consider themselves to be alphas? What? Like,
Most definitely so, yes. There's, well, the people that I see that claim that they are alpha, according to this list, already, nah.
they already disqualified right at the top.
And then, like, your social sphere, it says he's like the leader of his social sphere. What if your social sphere is really hitting on nothing?
Right. That's the thing. Speaking of social spheres, doing my research of this, I definitely. So the thing about social spheres is the hierarchy changes. What, how the group you're in, what their goals are, what their interests are, how they feel about one another, how they feel about whatever it is they're doing. So, say for instance, you might be an quote unquote alpha on the football field or in a group that talks about sports. But then when you cross over to the group that talks about video games, you might not be the alpha. Your Call of Duty KD might not be high enough to be considered the alpha. So it's like you're only an alpha in your circle. So that kind of disqualifies you from being an actual alpha, because as an alpha, you're supposed to be like the alpha across the board. But no one in human nature is an alpha across the board. Trump may be an alpha to Republicans, but if he step over here to these video games, they gonna look at him like, unless you can play, bro. Unless you can play, why are you here?
It's very true. So psychologically, they say that the alpha is dominant, and socially, the alpha is dominant. So I guess it's a dominant personality trait, I guess, that they're trying to correlate with the alpha male.
Yeah.
Whatever that's supposed to mean.
Yeah, I don't think we have.
I've seen some dudes.
I mean, the dominant trait often comes with assholeosity compared to it, right?
I've seen some dudes that consider themselves alpha, and they definitely give predator vibes.
Whoa. So you say the alpha is a sliding scale, but then you have people that argue against it. It's like, yo, if they are a predator, they can't be an alpha. But really, every stereotype, the alpha stereotype as a whole is basically toxic masculinity on most points. It's the guy that's in the gym all the time, the meathead, or the bro, for lack of a better term. Do I agree or adhere to any of that? No, not really. But it's just that's what it is. You know. All right, let's move on to beta before we spend too much time on alpha. Let's move on to beta.
Okay. The beta is psychologically similar to the alpha, but lacks the same social opportunities.
Wow.
They surround the alpha, ready to take his place if the position opens.
Oh, so you can graduate.
Submit.
Oh, I didn't know that.
That's what it sounds like. You could graduate. That's what it sounds like. They will submit to the alpha, but no one else. Frequently referred to a yes man, this tier is inhabited by bureaucrats and middle managers. Also, the beta is modest and easygoing, the ideal husband type, works a lot, but overshadowed by his peers.
See?
Huh?
These lists, yo. So as a beta, you can't be a leader, but I'm not getting it. I'm not understanding how this correlates. How are you a beta in a working environment? There are always workers, and you're always going to be working under someone, right? And I'm just focusing on this work aspect of it, because you're literally going to always be working under someone. So if you're like the boss, then you're not the CEO, though. You might be a supervisor or a manager, but can you be a alpha if you're the supervisor and you have a manager over you? Like,
no.
Or that's what I'm saying. Like, how does that work? You know what? what's the traits of them, like the psychological trait and the social trait? What does it say about them?
Psychological, the beta is dominant, but socially, they're submissive.
Oh man, submissive is, you can't be an alpha if you're submissive. So does that often mean the alpha can't be like intelligent though? Because that's what I'm confused about here. Because it seems like the beta holds all the intelligence.
Well, it depends, because if intelligence is a priority to the alpha, then he'll take time to build his, education. But
so so you're suggesting that the alpha can kind of do whatever he wants, and if say he wants to be an artist, then he'll be an artist, but he can still be alpha.
Yeah.
Because I've seen lists contradicting that. They're like, no, because I think this thing goes all the way to like Zeta or something like that in the original book.
Zeta, I don't see no Zeta on my
not on these lists. These are just like the top 5. But in the original book that was written in like 1939, and I find the name of the book, I think it's 39, something like Alpha to Zeta. Like there's a whole crazy hierarchy. Anyway, before we get too deep in that, let's continue with this. What were we on, beta? What are your thoughts on beta?
It's hilarious.
It's just hilarious.
It's hilarious. It's really hilarious because psychologically they're similar to the alpha. That's what it was saying, but lacks the same social opportunities. So, but then it said that they're the ideal husband. So an alpha can't be the ideal husband, but he's supposed to be the greatest of all time.
Right. It kind of, because like what I just said, in certain circumstances and social groups, things change, right? So if you're the beta and you're the ideal husband, right? Does that make your matriarch the alpha in that situation? See? See, the lists are so vague that you could just literally introduce anything.
Daggone rabbit hole of.
But for real though, in some cultures, the matriarch. Oh, who's? Yeah, we're gonna get into that later.
I haven't really heard anything about this whole. I haven't heard about this whole alpha male thing until I was like 26.
Yeah, see, it really took off around like 1960s, but it's kind of been a sliding scale in between. And I'm gonna get into that, I promise you. But let's move on to what is the next one. What's your next one? Gamma?
Yep. The gamma contrasts with the beta in that they do not surround the alpha, attempt to follow trends, or submit socially. The gamma is dominant psychologically, coming up with new ideas while rejecting mass culture. This is the domain of artists, philosophers, hipsters, and edgy teens. What the fuck?
By this list.
Wait. Let me say the next part. Gamma is introverted and super sensitive. The yes man of the office. At the office. Has big plans but lacks determination and focus.
See, this is so far, and I'm gonna self-assess myself right now for the sake of the conversation. I literally could fit into any of these damn things, depending on which personality or which talent I decide to put forward. Like, to anybody. To some people, I might be a gamma. Like, I put together the posters for the show, and they are pretty good. I'm pretty artistic in that sense. And I made this shirt that I got on.
But it says domain of artists, philosophers, hipsters, and edgy teens. Edgy teens is what took me out. But
the edgy teens, though, like, what is an edgy teen exactly?
A philosopher can't be an alpha?
The philosopher probably made this list. That's the crazy part about it. The philosopher is, if he didn't make the list, he is definitely the basis for this list. His research, his studies are the basis for this list. And
So
you
this is
diss him to gamma?
right. I'm really taken back from this because like this is a mess.
So
I can't believe people will really. I already don't believe in labels. Like the only labels I believe in is, of course, I'm black and I'm a woman. Like those are the only two things.
Yeah, my labels. I'm with you on that. My whole label me as something is really low on a scale of my hierarchy in life. Like I don't give a damn what you think about me or where you put me.
But gamma, this gamma one, we're not even through with the list yet. We're only halfway through right now.
I'm actually scared for
this
Delta
gamma
and
is
Omega,
taking
man.
me out. I'm really scared for Delta and Omega, okay? I'm
So
really scared of gammas like this.
So what's the personality trait for gammas, though?
Gamma, psychologically, they're dominant.
Okay.
So that makes sense with the philosophers and the artists part.
Yeah.
Artists, music artists, painters. What the freak?
Yeah, so your favorite rapper not an alpha. So, I mean, just saying.
But yeah, this is psychologically dominant, but their social trait is rejective.
Rejective. How was that possible? Literally, like the social, like, okay, go back to the Roman times, right? When they used to have these big, literally, like your philosophers they didn't have shit else to do but philosophy. I be making up words, boy. Philosophy. I'm gonna put that on a t-shirt. They literally didn't have nothing to do but sit and think. Like literally everybody was a philosopher. So how was the alpha in that conversation then if like your most popular person was the philosophers, it was the artist? You know what I'm saying? Like if you had the skills to write music, the skills to make poetry, the skills to make up stories and all that good stuff, you were the celebrities. So how are you not an alpha? Like, so in our culture,
doesn't make any sense.
Yeah, and in our cultures, celebrity is usually at the top of the scale. They have a lot of influence. Yeah. So how is it that you're a gamma and you can't influence an alpha or beta?
Yeah.
Make it make sense. You know what?
It doesn't make any sense.
Do you have any other thoughts on gamma before we move on to the next one?
Nah, I'm good on gamma. Like you said, what is it? What exactly is an edgy 10? Like, I don't even know what that's supposed to mean right there.
Timmy Turner is an edgy teen at this point. Like, I don't even know.
Nobody knows. Okay, we're going to go with Delta next.
All right.
Delta. The Delta does not possess the drive or ambition to improve.
Wow. I mean, straight out the gate with the disrespect for Deltas.
Pow, pow, pow. Straight out the gate. All right, let me start over because that's not even a whole sentence. That was just at the comma. I'm already through. I wasn't prepared at all.
I wasn't either.
Okay, the Delta does not possess the drive or ambition to improve, preferring to simply exist rather than seek success. Deltas may either be simply content with mediocrity or too inept psychologically or socially to raise to a higher tier. Deltas typically serve as factory workers or in service industries.
Yo. Okay, so
that's so disrespectful to every factory worker.
It is, because I mean, you have that one brother that's on the line. Like back in the day, I used to work at a chicken plant. Oh my God, worst job ever. But on the line, there was this guy, right? And he was like, you gonna do what I tell you. You gonna respect me. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, he was that type of guy. And he would often pick fights with like literally anybody. He was also shorter than everybody. So there might be a bit of a little man syndrome going on there.
Don't say little man syndrome. It's called Napoleon complex. Chill out.
I'm sorry. Napoleon Dynamite complex.
Not Napoleon Dynamite.
But the point is, Like, dude, I had to lie my way out of an argument with that cat boy. I had to tell him I had a gun in the trunk. I didn't. Anyway, oh yeah, I lied my way out of that fight.
But it's the way that you had to say it though. He was too crazy. That's what it was.
He was crazy. Like,
So you think he was a Delta?
I wouldn't say. I mean, by this list, he was, but that dude was. He acted more like a bro. Like, he had the big ass muscles too. Like, he might have been short, but he had like them.
So he thought he was an alpha, but he was really a Delta.
By this list, that man was a Delta. That's right. I thought I was gonna die that night from a Delta. I feel so embarrassed now.
Here's all the other personalities. Modest and hardworking, wants attention but can't get it. Works hard but unable to draw attention. Damn, Delta, you
Yeesh.
just taking L's, Delta.
What about this psychological trait?
But wait, it's so disrespectful to factory workers, and it says or people in service industry. So that's like what, your Uber drivers?
Yep.
Food.
Right, like
hotels. So you telling me that like a regional manager couldn't be an alpha? Like a regional manager of like hotels couldn't be an alpha?
Nope, he cannot.
Because he's in the service industry.
And
because he's hard working.
So we're gonna act like it's easy to find jobs around here? Like,
well, at the very moment.
Yes, it is at the very moment.
It's actually a little easy because everybody is hiring.
These lists existed for a long time, and for a minute there, it was really, really hard for people to find good paying jobs. I mean, again, I worked at a chicken plant. That was not by choice.
So since you was working at the chicken plant, you're Delta too now.
I'm a Delta too.
You Alpha, Beta, Gamma, Delta.
Dang, man, I'm a complicated man. Jeez, I'm autistic. I'm
psychologically assertive. This is what's tripping me out, right? Psychologically submissive.
Okay.
And socially submissive.
So the Delta is submissive. So the Delta is submissive, but the Gamma is rejective. Okay.
Okay. I can see the difference there.
I mean, I see it. Like, I guess because the artists can be snobbish. So you don't want to hang out with them. I mean, they cool and but you don't want to hang out with them.
I guess that's the edgy teen part.
Yeah. You know what I'm saying? The goth kid with the makeup and the piercings,
Just because they goth doesn't mean that they edgy. I hate that that's edgy. Why can't the self-proclaimed hoe be edgy?
I don't know.
She done got passed around. Why she can't be edgy?
I don't know. Because MTV didn't say it.
The one dude that's super popular. Why he can't be edgy?
Okay, so if it's not the goth team, but okay, every edgy stereotype you ever seen in a movie, they always have piercings though. Like, and if it's not a piercing, it's the Asian purple streak in their hair.
Yeah.
So I've never seen a black edgy teen, and if you do,
where have you been?
I mean, like that. If they do put them in, it's the stereotype. They put the white person edginess over him. Like, they give him the long hair with the little male bang thing.
Chill, yeah.
With the piercings, and he does that to clear the stuff out of his hair. You know what I'm saying? Just saying.
Young.
All right, continue. Where we at? Gamma? Omega. We're at Omega now.
We're at Omega. The Omega not only lacks ambition and confidence, but is totally incapable of compatibility with society. Omegas are known for their inability to fit in socially or operate under pressure. The Omega is traditionally the scapegoat for any failure. They often can't keep jobs.
Yo, that's cold.
Wait. Omega is skillful and self-sufficient, the odd one in the wolf pack, laid back, not chasing success or money.
I also like to point out that I also identify with some of the traits from Omega too.
I don't understand. This is skillful and self-sufficient. Wouldn't that be an alpha trait if you're self-sufficient? You don't have to worry about anyone.
Right?
And you got the skill.
Yep. Now you see now the
But why he can't keep a job?
I don't know. Maybe I don't know. I don't just you know what? What's the psychological is what now?
Psychological is submissive.
Mm-hmm.
And the social is rejective.
There's no reason that the omega should be able to keep a job if he's submissive, right?
No,
like,
not psychologically.
I'm just saying, like, I mean, his social might be a problem, but his psychological.
Yeah, he can't keep a job if he's socially rejective. That makes sense.
Well, what if his job is like just maintenance by himself? What if he's the only person on the crew? Will that change? I mean, I'm looking at this list and
wait, so I'm looking at the other one that had like a couple of personality traits, but it doesn't have like the psychological and the social part. And it's also I guess supposed to be a personality, but it's called Sigma. And on this other thing that I found, it says the lone wolf antithesis of the alpha defies placement in the social hierarchy and yet is successful with women.
Oh, so there's a scapegoat. Like if you're not exactly an alpha or beta, there's still hope for you. You could be a sigma.
Super smart and extremely attractive, the manipulative mastermind. He is super ambitious and his own boss. So my question is, on the one list that I saw Sigma is second in the list in Alpha. But on this other list, they have Sigma all the way at the bottom.
Which is crazy. And I also identify with traits of
super smart and extremely attractive. I would think that would be an Alpha, right?
Yeah. I mean, I'm not extremely attractive. That ain't the trait. But I'm saying, like, but wait a minute. Did they say the alphas was attractive?
It says confident in himself.
Confident in himself and
his abilities.
But that does not mean attractive. So if you ugly, you be fine. You know?
So that means that the alpha is probably living a very cold, successful, dry life.
Probably can't keep a spouse.
Can't keep a spouse. That's what it sounds like. Can't keep a spouse.
Why would you want to be that though? Like, I'm gonna be honest. If the
born leader.
I mean,
so that means you got everybody counting on you.
But why would I trust somebody that can't keep a relationship though? Like, if you can't keep a relationship with your spouse, you probably can't keep a friendship either. I mean, I guess that means you'd be okay in the job department of things, maybe. I mean, it doesn't exactly correlate to that, but for me and my values, if I met a male that just always go find new women because, I don't know, he just dogs them out. And I'm not saying that the alpha dogs women out, but it definitely does seem that way.
He dogging them out.
So, I mean, I can't really trust you. You might try to get what I got. Like, no, I'm good. I just hang out with the betas, I guess. I don't know. I don't know which one of these the beta. I hang out with the betas. I don't know what that says about my social group, though.
I don't know who I would hang out with, and I don't know what type of man I would want to have compared to with this list. I guess a Sigma, I don't know.
The attractiveness is like at the top. Now you're like, you
gotta be attractive. You gotta be something to look at, all right?
But okay, so this is the thing though. Like in that case, attractiveness is literally how you perceive it though, right?
Beauty is in the eye of the beholder.
So I mean, I know I've seen photos and stuff online and that people post, and then people be like, "Oh man, she's so ugly," you know. And I'm looking at it like, "That's ugly." Like, but then I have to remember that it's in the eye of the beholder. But I be looking at the photo like, "But she's attractive though." But you know, what do I know?
Some people some people also can't give props when they're due too, because like just because you don't like them because of so and so might not like them, then you might not find them attractive or whatever. But like if you actually that nice, you could say like I don't find them attractive, but her clothes cute, or she got a really pretty smile or some shit. I don't know.
So, do you know any females that have any of these qualifications? Do you think there's a hierarchy for females? Is basically similar, or is this just a male thing?
Personally, I don't see it because we don't have those type of conversations. At least not my friends and I. I haven't really sat down and had a conversation about like the alpha female.
Yeah.
Honestly, I guess it would still apply. Like a woman that couldn't keep a dude around, but she's super successful, you know.
Yeah.
Why wouldn't a man want to be with her, you know? But I guess that would be I guess the alpha. So I guess it could apply to some people.
Yeah.
I don't know where I would. Let me look back at this list because I'm definitely no fucking alpha. That's for sure. Because I don't want to be a leader. I'm not a follower either, but I don't want to be a leader. That's a lot of.
It's a lot of responsibility.
It is. Shoulders.
But I mean, I wouldn't want to be an alpha just on the negative connotation side of things.
I don't want to be no daggone Omega either. Talking about something they can't keep their job. I don't know. I feel like I have socially. I feel like it depends. Like what type of set I'm in socially. Like I could be dominant and submissive.
Yeah.
Psychologically, I could be dominant and submissive. Sometimes even rejective.
Yeah, like I know if I'm in a group and we're talking about, I don't know, wrestling, I can be dominant in there, but I choose not to be. Or if we're talking about comics, I can be dominant there, but I choose not to be. If we're talking about
wrestling, I'm gonna need you to be dominant in it because I need to know all of it.
I'm just saying, like, how does this work? Like, can you choose to be these things, or are you just these things? I didn't try to look that up because I don't think this is an actual science, and the whole goal of the show is it science?
It's not science. It's definitely science based upon opinion. Somebody looked at all the different personality traits and just tried to correlate something that goes with nothing. And they spent a lot of time for nothing because honestly, other than the internet, I've never had a real conversation about the alpha male. This is like the biggest conversation I've had about the alpha male ever in life.
I mean,
outside of the internet.
Yeah, outside of the internet, I definitely don't have this conversation. But in Facebook and Twitter and whatever else you jump into, you always find, especially with males, we always have this pecking order because we see our social groups as pecks in a sense sometimes. We might not say it that way, but as humans, we're always been tribal. So when it comes down to your social groups, it's kind of like that too, though. Like you kind of see it in a tribal way. It's like someone's always going to want to try to take the lead. And then there's the part of the group that's going to allow that to happen. And then there's the part of the group that don't want that to happen. But I don't think it's like a set science. It's not.
It's not.
At one point, though, it may have been considered to be so. Let's see. So I was reading this article from New York Magazine, right? And in this article, it says the concept of the alpha male comes from the animal kingdom, an interest in sorts of animal hierarchies led by alpha pack up greatly in the second half of the 20th century. I mean, I said alphas packed. I mean, alphas picked up greatly in the second half. You know what? I will read that shit again. The concept of the alpha male comes from the animal kingdom and interest in the sorts of animal hierarchies led by alphas picked up greatly in the second half of the 20th century. Google Scholar can only provide a rough estimate, of course, but it returns with 11 research mentions of alpha male between 1900 and 1950, and about 2,220 for the period between 1950 and 2000. So there was 11 researches made, at least from what Google Scholar could find. At least from what Google Scholar could find, there was only 11 from 1900 to 1950, and then in 1950, it seems like this whole alpha male, alpha hierarchy just kind of boomed, right?
So once again, humans are trying to compare
Themselves to
animals. Even though we are animals, we're the most evolved animal. We're the dumbest animal as well, because we're the only species paying to live on this here earth.
Yeah, you're right. Okay, so according to the same article, I'm gonna read on a little bit. It says the term barely existed in books until 1960, though in Aldous Huxley's Brave New World, first published in 1932, human beings were assigned from fetushood on to a caste ranging from alpha to epsilon, and since then has been on a mostly consistent upswing. So from 1932, this whoever Aldous Huxley is wrote a book, and from that point, from 1932 to 1960, it was relatively kind of quiet, and then in 1960, it kind of picked up. So what changed that? It was research into chimps, actually, that kind of like was the bridge, I guess. And then from that research to chimps, it went to wolves because David Meach, right? David Meach was a scientist that was studying the behavioral wolves, and he noticed that in the wolves there was a pecking order. And then he ends up writing a book about the wolves. And that book itself is called The Wolf Ecology and Behavior of an Endangered Species. This was in the, when did he write this book? I think he wrote the book in 1960. The book itself came out in 1970, right? And the book sold like hotcakes. So what we know as the modern day wolf hierarchy of alpha, because every time you see a set of alphas, they kind of tend to correlate themselves with wolves. It was from his research and his book. Now you want to know the plot twist of all this. You ready for this? He was wrong. He was wrong. He admitted he was wrong. I think it was a paper he wrote in 1999. That he researched wolves that was in captivity. So these wolves created the hierarchy off of survival within their captivity. So like your national parks, that type of thing, because there's not actual wolf behavior. So 20 years after he wrote his book, he ends up doing research of wolves in the wild. And what he noticed was that there is no alpha, beta, or any of that. It's just basically parents. The wolves are parents. There's a mom, and then there's a dad, and then they just go about their lives every day without an actual pecking order. The only reason there was a pecking order was because they were captive, and you had so many different adults, and it was a different variable in that captive space for the wolves. So when you have to, get food and stuff like that, it's not as prevalent as, as you would be in the wild, I guess. So basically your whole alpha male pecking order is based on somebody that's trapped.
There you go.
Wow.
They want to be trapped. They want to stay trapped. They don't know where to go.
What do they call it? That crabs in the barrel type of thing, right?
Yeah, pretty much.
That's basically where it came from. Him watching wolves, crabs in a barrel.
Yeah.
So is it science? Yes. Is it a myth? Yes. It's actually kind of both.
Look at us, myth busting over here.
Boom, baby. That's what we do. Look at us. We're beasts. I don't think I have.
It's science and a myth. The concept is science, but all of this extra shit that they add into it is a myth.
Yes. Yes. I mean, we're comparing ourselves to some captive wolves.
Yeah, pretty much.
It's crazy. And here we are talking about wanting to be free and free-minded. And we don't follow this and we don't follow that. But yet here we go with this arbitrary internet code, and we just kind of run with it.
Yeah.
As is this is how society is run. And technically, yes, this is how society is run. It's when a group of people come together to make a bunch of rules for everybody. So in that sense, yes, it can exist, but naturally, you can't really claim that because it doesn't exist natural. It's not a natural thing. It's something you make up, which is why not everybody subscribes to it.
A lot of things are just made up these days. It's 2021.
Isn't it though? It's just like, it's a way of life now. Just make up some shit. If everybody agree with it, it is what it is.
It is what it is. That's just how we rolling now.
So hashtag no, you're not the alpha.
Hashtag no, you're not the alpha.
But I mean, if you want to subscribe to that thing in your social groups, that's fine. That's actually okay. But don't make it as if it's like the mass thing to do.
Yeah.
Because it's not.
And it's okay. I mean, if you believe in it, that's your right. But don't try to force it down someone else's throat because they don't believe in it.
Absolutely. So I have nothing else to add to this. I don't really subscribe to any of this stuff. So
you already know I don't either.
So we're gonna, now that we know that it's a bit of both, we're gonna move on. Let's talk about some music stuff.
Ooh. Shout out to Worthy. Dropped a new song over the weekend. I think over the weekend. But I got hip to it over the weekend. You can find him on SoundCloud. The song is called So I Don't Be Wrong. Worthy, I've been waiting for Worthy to get his break. Local artist here in DC, by the way.
I was like, I have never heard of this guy. But I'm sure.
Local artist in DC, by the way.
I knew you was
the
going to help me.
The song is called Goodbyes Are Forever.
The byes are forever? Goodbyes are forever?
Goodbyes are forever, yeah.
Goodbyes are forever. Okay, okay. Add that to your list, Space Gang. I got to listen to it. Did you catch Bruno Mars and Anderson .Paak?
Silk Sonic?
Skate? Did you catch Skate?
Yeah, I caught Skate. I'm here for it. I think it got grow on me.
Yeah, it's definitely not like an instant classic like the other one was. No. By no means is that the instant classic. But I like it though.
But it's not a bad song.
No, not at all. I dug it.
Song.
But again, this is how I judge music. And this is how one-hit wonders are made. But because it's Bruno Mars and it's Anderson, we're not worried about them being one-hit wonders. But when you drop a song and that boy is like massive at first, it's hard to
come
hit
with some fire next time.
They almost caught fire like the first time though. It's like right there at it. This is more of a I gotta hear it 5 times. Okay, 3 times. You gotta hear it 3 times. I listened to it twice. I was hooked. I like it. But for most people, it's gonna take 2 or 3 times to listen to before it becomes like a major hit.
Most definitely.
But yeah, man, they was almost like if they were like new. If Silk Sonic was just a thing by itself, that Skate wouldn't have been like good enough to like keep them at the top. Like
facts. I agree. I completely agree.
Good thing that they do,
like you said, good thing that they both have their own careers already.
Yeah, which is like great careers, man. Bruno.
Anderson .Paak, I actually saw him on in concert with J. Cole when J. Cole had the For Your Eyes Only tour.
Okay. And was it good? Was it like a good show?
That's how I actually got hit to Anderson .Paak. Like I heard his music, like heard a couple of songs by him. But I didn't like know who the artist was. But he gave a pretty good show.
My man is good though, like for real. And I think I discovered Anderson. I may have heard some of his songs beforehand, but I didn't know who he was until like he showed up on the WWE soundtrack. Like I'm dead ass serious.
And he's been
I know
around for
this
a break now.
for real. Like yeah, he has been here for a minute. I was just not hip.
Yeah.
But
It's
man,
okay.
like
It's okay. He makes good music though.
definitely do. Him and Bruno are like peanut butter jelly.
They are.
Reese cup. I don't
I
know.
never even
Anything that
thought of
blends
it
together.
I never even thought about it going together, but they go together. Just like I wouldn't mind a J. Cole and 21 Savage
21.
21 collab album. I wouldn't mind a collab a collab album from them. Another week has gone by, BK, and we still don't have Donda.
Oh, I was just about to say that. Like, yo, any news? Has there been? The last thing I seen was like a week ago when he was sleeping in the damn stadium.
And then I seen something about him sharpening up something. I saw that too, that video that you're talking about. And then I saw another video after that. And I'm just like, bro, drop the album.
Please.
What are we waiting for?
I don't know. I've never been this excited for, well, that's not true. I haven't been this excited for a Kanye album since College Dropout.
I haven't been this excited for a Kanye album since Graduation. Graduation was a lot of hype. I'll never forget. On 106 and Park, 50
yeah, that's
Cent
what I meant.
was
I said College Dropout. I mean Graduation. My bad.
Oh, okay. Yeah, because Graduation, it was a lot of hype behind it, but he and 50 Cent was dropping an album that same day. Which 50 Cent album was it?
I can't remember.
I think it was 50 Cent's like third album as well, if
Yeah.
I'm not mistaken.
Yeah.
But that shit was not adding up to Graduation. Graduation was a whole vibe. Like,
no, yeah,
I
50
still
got
listen to that.
50 got trounced on that one, man. Like
50 Cent only have one good album, and that's Get Rich
Die Trying. It's universal.
Yeah.
But you know what though? I will say that he's been able, but he's not one hit wonder great though, which is great for him. Like if I was an artist, I wouldn't want like a bunch of great albums. Like, I mean, if I couldn't achieve it, I would want it. But if I couldn't achieve it, I don't want like a really great album and then a half-ass great album. You know what I'm saying? His albums are almost on a level with each other. It's just Get Rich or Die Trying is like at a whole nother level. Then his other albums like a step under.
A lot of people put that as one of their classic albums of all hip hop. Like
it is though. It is definitely in the top top 50.
I would say top of hip hop albums. I'm gonna say when we talking rap music, I'm going top 10. Get Rich or Die Trying.
Get Rich Die Trying top 10.
Hell yeah. Get Rich or Die Trying was that shit.
Okay, we're just talking like pure rap.
Yeah.
I don't know. I kind of now I kind of want to make a show of list of just like
we can do it, albums. Brody. You already know I'll be down, so we can do it.
I think if we're just talking pure
rap,
rap.
Dr. Kanye though, he need to
hold on. I gotta say it. If we're talking pure rap, I give him top 15.
Top 15, okay.
Top 15.
Okay.
That's me being generous because I got so many albums that I love. But anyway, back to Kanye.
Okay, I see you. But yeah, Kanye need to just hurry up, drop this album.
Yeah.
We're all waiting for it.
We are.
I'm actually nervous. I don't think I'm going to go to this music festival. I was going to go to a music festival for my birthday weekend, but I don't think I'm going to go. After I saw these pictures and videos of Lollapalooza, I was like, that's too many people for me. That's too close for me.
The fact that they compared it to the Krusty Krab at that time in SpongeBob, it did look like that shit.
It did look like that too. It looked like that. The stage was in the middle and the crowd was just all around that joint. And like, no one was social distancing. I didn't see many people with masks.
Did you see the close videos to these things? Like these people was like shoulder to shoulder, back to back.
Like it's not a pandemic.
Like who? Man, crazy. I'm staying in the house.
Honestly, why were that many tickets sold?
Good point. They always tend to blame the people for going, but and I can understand that you're grown, you make adult decisions, but come on, man, you still got to give them some accountability. Like they should have, the venue itself should have been prepared. But the way watching these wrestling shows go back to normal. Nobody social distancing there. These sports events, nobody sit. You know what I'm saying? Just nobody social distancing anymore, and nobody's worried. And I personally, I'm like, I don't stay in the house. I'm good. You know what I'm saying? But speaking of festivals, we got to touch the subject right now because I think we diametrically disagree to an extent on this whole baby situation.
Oh, I don't know if we.
You know, I don't want to say diametrically because I think
don't know if we disagree, but we do have to talk about that. Go ahead. What you gonna say?
so. From my point of view, my whole thing was as an artist of this magnitude. Now, not saying you got to walk on eggshells, but you definitely have to be careful how your delivery is met. Like you can have the opinion that you want to have. I will never say you can't have your opinion, but you definitely need to, when you state those opinions, you have to state them in a way that's not antagonistic. And I think that's what we disagree on.
Yeah.
With, for me, it was the delivery. Like you can have your opinion. Do I agree with him? No, because I wouldn't do anything like that. But I'm like that across the board. I'm all for people doing what they want to do, and I'm respecting whatever it is that people do. But he is a rapper from the hood, and I totally understand that.
I understand
and that is
exactly where it came from.
Yeah.
So when I first saw the video, I didn't actually see hear exactly what he said. So I did tweet that I didn't think he said anything too out the way. But he was very insensitive to people with HIV/AIDS because he was like, if you don't have HIV/AIDS and gotta die in 3 weeks, like honestly, if he had just left that HIV/AIDS is one thing, because honestly, people preach about that in church every Sunday. Your pastor is up there. If you didn't wake up this way, that way, praise the Lord. You know, is one thing. Yeah. But since the baby had added the whole 3 weeks, dying in 3 weeks, that was very insensitive. I do not think he said anything wrong towards the LGBTQ community. Statistics has shown that mostly women have HIV/AIDS. So, and it hasn't been like shown if like they're part of the LGBTQ, but we know why the women get the AIDS and the HIV. We know why. We know where it came from, you know. So I don't necessarily know how what he said was insensitive to the LGBTQ community.
You gotta say IA too now. You gotta put all the letters. I learned that. I just learned it.
BTQ plus then.
LGBTQ.
Plus, because it's gonna be hard for me to remember anything past that Q.
Yeah, I just learned it like a week.
What's the I and the A stand for?
I have zero idea.
So I'm gonna Google it.
I'm not even trying to be insensitive. I just don't know. I can't remember.
I'm gonna Google it because you know I'm the B, but you know, like I said, I hate labels. Yeah. So anyway, I don't see anything he said insensitive. He said something about sucking dick in the parking lot. I thought that was very specific. Like, who was sucking dick in the parking lot? Like, I want to know who was sucking some dick in the parking lot. You know,
I feel like if he elaborated on that shit, then yes, then it wouldn't have been as bad.
And then it was the DJ, honestly.
Yeah, the DJ was,
He said it's a lot of such shit going on. The baby didn't say that. But what's pissing me the fuck off is that he has clearly shown physical violence towards men and women.
True.
On camera. Not one motherfucking person cancel him then. But as soon as the LGBTQ plus community feel hurt, he's getting canceled from everything. I hate to say it, but the only reason why the LGBTQ plus community has this much effect is because they have white men behind them. Period.
Well, that's
and it's
true,
pissing me off.
The overall
it really pissed me off. He was literally knocking niggas out and women.
This is true.
No one batted an eye. Yo, us, you know what I'm saying? Us.
Yeah. I mean, I never really supported the baby like that anyway. Okay, let me rephrase it. I never supported the baby anyway. When he first caught on the scene, I was like, all right, we got a young man doing this thing, cool. But then as the layers started to peel off and I started to see who he was, I was like, yeah, nah, this is not someone
Trash.
that I want to associate myself with or listen to his music or anything like that. You know what I'm
As soon
saying?
as he started, okay, so when he rose to his stardom, I
Mhm.
did listen to a couple of his songs because they were hot. But then I noticed that he was one of those rappers that rapped about the same exact thing, the same exact flow. And I understand if you have a sound, but like switch that shit up a little bit, like.
Please, yeah, switch that shit up, B.
So
I agree with T-Pain. Do something else.
do something else. But as soon as those videos came out of him hitting women,
Yeah,
I stopped listening to anything new from him. I stopped going to go stream his music. For what?
yeah,
And then this whole baby mother drama that he got going on too. No. Why would I support this man? But these companies still wanted to push for him, and there was proof that he was a woman beater.
but see, this is the public opinion thing. Like, it wasn't loud enough, and there are groups for this. You know what I'm saying? And I think this is where people kind of get the misconception, because not every group could do everything all the time.
Mm-hmm.
So you have to familiarize yourself with these groups, or go out Google and find these groups. Sometimes you just definitely need that firepower to move the needle for you. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah.
So I know a lot of people was also upset and not upset at Chris Brown. And I was like, Chris is not wrong here. Like, I don't think it was him telling him to shut up and dribble. I think it was him more like saying, all right, listen, you have a platform. You got to kind of like play that part because of where you are. You know what I'm saying? Do your job because they go counsel you. And he was right, because how many concerts did Baby lose? How many festivals? I didn't even know it was this many damn festivals.
All of them, every single last one of them drinks.
They all pulled out. You got we always talk about how these people at the top of these festivals are gay, or there's like, gay stuff happening. If that is the case, then yes, it would make sense that when someone comes against them, that they will drop them, because those are the people that's running the festivals, I guess. But I know you itching to say something about Chris Brown, though. Go ahead. I know you want to.
Chris Brown, he definitely was giving me the vibes of this, what the one reporter said about LeBron, the shut up and dribble comment, because Chris Brown beats women. Like,
hold on, does he beat women, or did he beat a woman?
No, Karrueche came out and said, they went through their whole domestic thing, and we already know Rihanna. Then we had the videos.
I don't listen. Hold on.
Can we had the videos?
I don't count Rihanna because both of them was fighting each other. Okay.
We also have the videos and the pictures of him choking out a woman, like 2 summers ago.
I didn't see that. I did not see
that. And then maybe 2 months ago, a woman is coming out and saying that he smacked her.
Yeah, then that one I remember recently here, and I definitely didn't remember to go back and check it out to see what it slipped my mind, actually. But I definitely need to go back. If anybody knows what happened with that, let me know.
I just realized something. It's legit August and we haven't got Donda yet. Drake was supposed to be dropping an album. He probably don't drop the album until December, because he want people to be in their feelings. It's a lot of hot girl, hot boy shit going on right now. So
I'm concerned about some of these photos Drake be posting. I'm not saying if he is gay, be gay or whatever.
Is he gay?
No. I'm just saying, like, I seen the photos.
Did I miss something?
No. It's a photo that was going around Twitter that he posted like a few days ago, and it just looked a little suspect. They were talking about it, and I thought it was funny. Because I am not anti-gay, so I'd be like, man, if you're gonna be that, be who you want to be in life. It ain't none of my business. But don't be out here acting like you the savior to the. Wait a minute. Before I even say that, So where would Drake fit on the list of jokes about the photo? We're moving on from that. Where would he fit on the alpha, beta, gamma scale? Like, where would he fit? Because Drake,
I'm pretty sure Drake believes he's an alpha. And honestly, Drake might be an alpha because he can't keep no woman.
he can't
That's
keep a
for
woman.
sure.
You're right. He cannot.
He can't keep a woman. He's definitely not beta because he's supposed to be, but he's not gamma either. And they say artists are gamma.
Can you count yourself as an artist if you steal tracks? I'm joking. I'm joking. I'm joking. art, when you imitate art, you know what I'm saying? It's art for art's sake still. You know what I'm saying? People trace stuff all the time. And they still get paid.
Okay, wow.
I love y'all. Don't cancel me because I be making Drake jokes. They ain't even good Drake jokes either. So there's that. But anyway, you know what? We gotta end this show. So Space Gang, do me a favor, Space Gang. Head over to www.thebkspaceshow.com. That's space with a Z because I'm edgy. I made that name for the edgy team. Anyway, where you can get all the merch, all the blogs, every episode of the show, audio and video. Head over to YouTube, the BK Spade Show. We also have episodes there, like all of them.
All of them.
All of them.
All the things.
And do us a favor and head over to Apple Podcast. Why they gotta go to Apple Podcast, Novacaine?
We are in a competition to reach the top 250.
Top 50.
So we need all of the ratings, all of the reviews. We need it all.
All of it. We need all of it.
Please,
Or something
please.
like that.
Please,
Please.
please be begging. We're not
Please.
begging, but we are begging.
Hey man, listen. Remember, man. As far as this alpha male, beta male, female,
If that's you,
whatever,
that's you, bro. That's you.
It is. If it's you, it's you. But just remember, depending on where you are and what group you're hanging out with, that shit's gonna change. And it kind of doesn't matter where you are. Just be happy and enjoy your life. All right. I have been the BK Spades, and I am here with my very lovely co-host,
Novacaine, baby.
Hi, Space Gang.